Hey everyone, my name's Jo and welcome to Aussie Homeschool Adventures. It's great to have you here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. It's great to see you. Today's video is a collaboration. I am working with Kylie from the Homeschool Sweet Spot and a bunch of other homeschooling mums from Australia here on YouTube. There are so many of us now, especially Australian ones. We thought it was time that we would do a Meet the Teacher style video. So I've got some questions down here that Kylie has compiled and we're all going to answer them. So I will leave a link in my description box below to the playlist of everyone's videos and you can go over there and check out and meet a whole bunch of other Aussie homeschoolers that are here on YouTube. So it should be lots of fun and a great way to get to know us all. So do my best and we're all going to do our best to keep these videos short and sweet so that you can watch them all and not have to spend hours and hours and hours on YouTube, which mind you isn't a bad thing. I am guilty of doing that sometimes, but I know we all like to keep our time on screens to a minimum usually. So let's get started with these questions that Kylie has compiled for us. Question 1, when did you start homeschooling and why? I started homeschooling about 5 years ago. And why? Well, my girls were small and they haven't actually been to school. My oldest did a brief stint in pre-K, like pre-kindergarten program when she was 4-ish, 3 or 4. I should remember the age, but I don't. And something happened, we don't know what, but she went from being my really happy, flexible, yep, leave it with anyone, didn't give a rip kind of kid to major separation anxiety that took over 18 months for her to heal from and move on. She can't tell us what happened. The school had no idea. So late one night after we'd been through all of this and we were concerned about her and trying to work out what we were going to do next because she really would not, she was refusing to go, major meltdown kind of thing. So we decided, well actually no we didn't. I was lying in bed talking to my husband and I'd been praying about it and this idea just came into my spirit of, well, what if we homeschooled? And my brain was like, wait, what? Is that a thing in Australia? I had no idea it was a thing. So the next day I started researching homeschooling and looking into it and we haven't looked back. We're now in our 7th year of homeschooling, probably 6th year officially, 7th year unofficially, because I didn't register until she was 6.5 because that's the age that you have to in Queensland. So there you go, that's 7 years. I have question number 2. How many children do you have and what are their ages currently? So I have 2 children, I have 2 girls. My oldest is 10, turning 11 in August, and my youngest one is 8. She'll be 9 in today. This day this video goes live. She'll be 9 today. Oh my goodness, I can't believe she's 9 already. So number 3, what is your philosophy around home educating? And how does this look in a practical sense on a day-to-day basis? So my homeschooling philosophy is eclectic. So that means I get to pick and choose what sort of styles and methods that we do. I am definitely more traditional in that, as in we follow a curriculum. I use master books and you can check out one of my videos here to see a day in the life of a homeschool day with us and what that looks like. I'll leave a link and you can check it out. But for me, it's just, yeah, we do schoolwork in a practical sense every morning. I aim to start our homeschool day between 9 and 10 a.m. and we're usually done by about midday. And then the afternoons are free to come back sometimes and we'll do an afternoon loop of some subject. So we might do like a unit study in that time. We might do some art. We might do some hands-on science experiments. Or the girls might just play depending on the day and what's going on in our world. Question number 4. Do you work or study while homeschooling? The only work I do while homeschooling as a homeschool mum for me is my YouTube channel and my Instagram, where I jump on and I share about our lives and I try and encourage other homeschooling parents in their journey. That's all I do for the moment. I don't have a job outside of that and looking after my kids. Others do, but that's not me. Question 5. Do you have any formal qualifications relating to children or education? I do, but they're not essential. So I have a certificate 3 certificate 3 in education support, so teacher aiding, that I did years ago. And I have worked as a teacher aide. It helps me, but you don't need to have qualifications to homeschool. I've done a lot of work with children from when I was a younger teen, older child, 12, 13. I've always worked with children. I've always done stuff from teaching Sunday school to working with Girls Brigade and being a leader and things like that. So I've always worked with kids. So I guess that kind of helps me in as much as I've got experience, but it's different again, homeschooling your own children. But it has helped me. Question number 6. What type of schedule do you keep for your homeschooling? I already kind of answered this. Our schedule's pretty flexible. Like I said, we aim to start our days around 9, give or take. I don't have a set. I do have an alarm now that I've just started to try and help keep us on track. The alarm goes off and it's not me screaming at my kids to come for school. It's the alarm that goes off that calls them and reminds them. So they have their morning jobs that they have to do and get things done. Simple things like making their beds, brushing their teeth, those sorts of things before they come down and we do our school. So we start at 9, we'll go through until about 12. Somewhere around 10, 10:30 we'll take a morning tea break, in as much as I'll feed my children and they'll eat while they're doing something at their desks usually. Still, we don't tend to stop at that time because if I stop them, they'll either want to play and it takes forever to get started. So we just eat whilst we're still learning. Then lunchtime, we'll take a break. The girls will probably have a little bit of screen and then I'll have a bit of screen time. It's a great way to have a rest and a reset for all of us. And then they'll either go and have a play outside or in the playroom, depending on the rain and the weather. And then we'll come back in the afternoon. Sometimes we might play a game as a family. The girls might do some art, or we might do some science experiments, or we might pick up and do a hands-on activity from one of our units, so like our geography or our house unit, depending on the day. It changes. We follow a looping schedule. I'll leave a link here to my homeschool plan with me for the year video, and you can check that one out, and that will give you a bigger picture of that. Number 7, what is your favorite thing about homeschooling? My favorite thing, it's hard to pick one favorite thing, but I guess my favorite is that I get to be with my kids. I love my girls and I love having them here with me. I love having them around. I love, even now you can probably hear them in the background, they're outside playing on the trampoline. I love that they're here and that they get to be kids, that they don't have to be at school from 9 till 3, and I get to have this time with them, because before I know it, they're going to be gone. My oldest is 10. Another 10 years, sounds like a long time, but these first 10 years are gone. She'll be 20 and moving out. That's a bit sad, but I love that I get to spend so much more time with them. All right. Question number 8. What is my least favorite thing about homeschooling? It's actually the same thing in some ways. That my kids are always here. So sometimes it can be very hard to have space to myself, to go to the bathroom on my own without being interrupted. Although they are getting better at that now, finally. But to have a moment to breathe, to be able to go, oh, I actually don't want to do anything today. I want to have a couch day, or I want to craft, or I want to do something fun for myself. It can be a little bit harder to find that time. I've got to work harder for it and schedule it or carve it out. I can, and I do, but it's harder to find that space to breathe. And probably the least favorite thing that comes with that homeschooling part of homeschool for me is teaching maths. It's not my strength, and I find it really quite challenging. Thankfully, my husband is amazing at maths, so if I get stuck, I talk to him beforehand, he helps me understand it, and then I can help the kids understand it. And if we still get it wrong, then he comes on and helps the kids to understand it, so it works really well. Question 9. What are the 3 things you wish you knew when you started homeschooling? 3 things. Probably number 1 is that it's okay to get it wrong and to change curriculum. I spent the first little bit of my daughter's first grade year trying to use the curriculum that I'd used for her sister with her and we struggled and we pushed with it because I'd spent a fair bit of money on it because it was an American curriculum and I'd gotten it shipped from America. And we struggled with it and we tried to get it to work. And in the end, I really had to struggle with letting it go and switching curriculums. And it worked so much better once I let go and we switched. But it was hard to know that I had to actually let go. And that was really hard, letting go. Number 2, I wish I had have known about the other styles of homeschooling, especially when my girls were younger. I didn't know much about Montessori. I didn't know much about the Reggio or Charlotte Mason even. I wish I had have done a little bit more research on the different styles, especially when they were younger, because I think Montessori is a beautiful way of learning, especially when your kids are little. So, yeah, that would be that one. And then I guess number 3, I wish I had known that it's okay to not do everything every day. That some days you don't have to do maths and it's okay. Some days you don't have to do art or science. Even some years. So it's okay not to do everything. Your kids will be okay. And the HU for us in Queensland will be okay. So I guess for me that's probably the 3 things. Question 10. The one thing we want, or I want new homeschoolers to know. That it's going to be okay. You're not going to ruin your kids by homeschooling them for a year. If it doesn't work and you want to put them back into school, it's okay. But you might love it, and then you've gained a year of homeschooling with them and moving on from that point. That it's going to be okay. You can't screw them up any more than the education department can. You're not going to break your kids. And because most of us, especially ones that are looking at homeschooling, are doing it out of a place of love. We love our kids and we want what's best for them. So it'll all be okay in the end. So don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to have a go. Homeschooling is one of the most rewarding but hardest things you'll ever choose to do. It has its struggles, but gee whiz, when they're highs, they're high. When they're low, they can be pretty low. But when they're flying high, it is the best feeling. And you'll find a point that eventually you'll have more highs than lows. And you'll find that sweet spot, that way that just works and flows. And it is the best feeling. It's taken us a while, but we're in a good rhythm and we just love it. It works so well for us. So I hope you enjoyed getting to know me. I hope that you will go and check out the playlist down below and go and meet some of the other homeschooling mamas here on YouTube, especially all of us Aussies, because it's such a growing community and it's so good to see more of us jumping on board and sharing our journey with you all. So be sure to check it out. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't, if you've liked this video, please give it a like and share it around with other people that you know that are interested in starting homeschooling or homeschooling. It will just help my channel to grow and other channels to grow that are part of this collaboration, guys. So thanks for watching. Have a fabulous week and I will see you in the next one. Bye.